التحقيق، ومعه أيضا رئيس المنتدى، وأترككم لمتابعة الجلسة الافتتاحية.
His Royal Highness King Abdullah bin Hussein of the Kingdom of Jordan, Her Royal Highness Queen Rania, distinguished guests and friends, welcome to the World Economic Forum on the Middle East here at the Dead Sea. We are back at home, Your Majesty. First, I would like to greet all the distinguished guests we have among us today. 11 heads of states and government. I would like to welcome Your Royal Highnesses, distinguished members of the World Economic Forum, friends. It's the biggest audience and participation we ever had at one of our summits here in the Middle East. And I think it shows in times where we look at the news and we may be overwhelmed with despair if we see the bloodshed, the injustice. We may be overwhelmed with despair, but your engagement here, your strong engagement here, shows there is not only despair, that there is hope. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your commitment which will make this meeting a success. Your commitment, which for many of you has actually started when His Majesty invited us for the first time to come here in 2003. There was a new window of opportunity at that time, and we have had ups and downs, but we always have to believe in the ups and not in the downs. And my commitment, the World Economic Forum's commitment to the region, has started actually in 1976, over 31 years ago, when for the first time I brought together 1,000 Arab leaders with 1,000 leaders from Europe and the West in Montreux at the European Arab Business Leaders Meeting. So the Forum is involved into this region since a very, very long time. But this meeting, which we start today, is different from other meetings. Let me give you just 4 reasons why this meeting is different. First, of course, there are many burning issues here in the region. And it's tempting to concentrate just on 1 or 2 of the most urgent issues, creating peace. But actually, in our world of today, all issues are interconnected. And what we want to do is to take a holistic approach, to look at the political issues, at the economic issues, at the social issues, at the cultural issues, in an integrated way. The second reason why this meeting is different, we want to bring a positive energy to the region. Of course, it's easy to design an optimistic scenario for the region, and it's even easier to design a pessimistic scenario for the region. But, friends, let's not forget, scenarios do not happen. Scenarios are shaped by us, the leaders of today, through our actions, through our decisions. And we all want to work together to make sure that the optimistic scenario becomes a reality. The third reason why this meeting is different, it is a true multi-stakeholder meeting. We are here political leaders, we are here business leaders, but we are also here religious leaders, cultural leaders, intellectual leaders, young global leaders, and very important representatives of civil society. And I should not forget women leaders. And in this respect, Your Majesty, I would like to quote you from your speech which you made in Davos early this year. And I quote, "It cannot be left to government alone. An important part of an irreversible peace is creating the foundations for coexistence. The majority of people want peace, but this peace requires regional and international NGOs and other civic groups. They are urgently needed as project partners, facilitators, founders, investors, and visionaries." End of quote. So there's a fourth reason why this meeting is special. If we look at the participants list, we see such a strong participation from the region. And I feel this meeting, this summit, is signaling to the world that the leaders of the Middle East, the well-intentioned leaders, the visionary leaders, are ready to take their own fate, to take their fate into their own hands, supported by the international community. I have now the great honor and pleasure to introduce our host, Your Majesty, King Abdullah II. And I would like to use this opportunity first to thank you for the partnership over so many years, for your advice and for your leadership. And I would like to thank you, Queen Rania, as a member of our foundation board, for your commitment and your engagement. And I would like to include into this appreciation and thanks the government of Jordan and the people of Jordan who contribute so much to make this meeting feasible and possible. Your Majesty, we admire you as a global leader. You have a great global identity, but at the same time, you are a tireless fighter in the best sense for creating peace, stability, and justice here in the region. And you also blend this global and regional role with your foremost role as a national leader. And you have brought to this country modernization in political, in economic terms, and you are a role model for incorporating at the same time tradition and modernity. Strong roots, strong cultural roots in your country's traditions, in Islamic traditions, but also modernity, not least expressed in your belief into the role of information technology and education. And we have been very proud to work together with you in this respect. So you are traditional and at the same time one of the most modern leaders in the world. Your Majesty, we are very honored that you will open now this summit, and we will be under your visionary leadership for the next 2.5 days.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. My friends, this is our year of opportunity. Opportunity to end violence, opportunity to make peace, opportunity to build the regional economic powerhouse of tomorrow. That future begins here and now with the leadership, vision, and proven capability assembled in this room, and with the action that can be catalyzed by your dialogue and partnership. Professor Schwab, I'm honored to welcome the Forum back to Jordan, and to all of you, accept my warmest welcome. It is a pleasure to join you for this important meeting. And it comes at a decisive time. As you know, the Arab countries are engaged in a major effort to achieve a just settlement of the Arab-Israeli conflict. In late March, the Arab Peace Initiative was renewed unanimously by the Arab countries. There is a historic opportunity to achieve a just, comprehensive, and lasting settlement, and achieve it now, this year, before any more generations suffer, before any more destruction takes place. For Palestinians, there can be no more delay. The absence of peace, the conditions of occupation, have devastated Palestinian life. 3 of every 5 job seekers cannot find employment. Hundreds of thousands of families are living in misery, sustained only by humanitarian aid. This suffocating situation has brought poverty, malnutrition, frustration, and radicalization. When a farmer gives up on growing produce he cannot sell, when business owners shut factories because supply chains are broken, financing is frozen, and too few customers can afford to buy, when children quit school early because they see no future ahead, then it is our duty to act. We in Jordan are doing all we can to build the momentum for peace. And we know success is not and will not be easy. But we also know peace is attainable. Israelis and Palestinians from all walks of life tell us they need and want an end to violence. There is a new international will to resolve the crisis. It is no longer just a regional problem. And it is in the interest of this entire region, and indeed the world, that we all succeed. As we look to that day, we need to be asking a new question. What about the day after peace? Will we be ready? Will we have the plans in place to realize the benefits of peace and then build on them? Will we have the vision to see our region's potential, act on it? 325 million people live in the Arab world. Ours is a region larger than Europe, larger than Canada, larger than China, larger than the United States. The benefits and standards of living that these regions enjoy can and must belong to the people of the Middle East. China and India and other countries that were poor 20 years ago made tough decisions to move forward, embracing private sector development and globalization. And their courage brought rapid growth that is reducing poverty and creating opportunity. We are able, if we choose, to match and even surpass their gains. young people especially need us to do so. Youth are the largest age group in our region, with more than 200 million under the age of 24. These young men and women deserve to be part of a prospering region that is playing its rightful role on the world stage. And I'm talking about every advantage that the 21st century can provide. A good education, fulfilling work, security to raise their families, and more. Meeting their expectations is our greatest calling. And our generation, I believe, is rising to this challenge. The fact is that periods of prosperity provide important opportunities for advancing reforms, facilitating investments in infrastructure, as well as innovative solutions to some of our region's most urgent challenges. And one critical challenge is water. From the snowy peaks of the Atlas Mountains to the empty quarter of the Arab Peninsula, most of our region's countries cannot meet the current water demand. As a region, if we do not plan how we will meet this most basic need, if we do not commit the necessary investment to resolve this problem, we will not be fighting for peace. We'll be fighting for our lives. We need to rise to this challenge, and I believe we can. The environment is another pressing challenge. When fossil fuel was discovered over a century ago, there were only about 1 billion people in the world. There are now more than 6 billion. And fossil fuel is key to life in every continent. As a region endowed with energy resources in abundance, we must lead the way in discovering how to make those resources last longer and burn cleaner. A third key challenge is infrastructure. If this region is to be a strong economic bloc with greater industry competitiveness, a growing private sector, and sustainable job opportunities, then a strong, efficient transport and logistics system is a strategic necessity. Consider just the regional context. It is estimated that by 2020, 70% of the region's population will be urban. What plans must we make? What infrastructure investments are needed to service this urban development? These are great opportunities, and they are open for your leadership right now. My friends, the time has come to stop thinking about peace as an end to conflict, but as a beginning of sweeping new opportunities and benefits for the people of this region. An era that will free human and financial resources for region-wide achievement and prosperity. An era that will open new cross-border opportunities that multiply the benefits of development and investment. But if we're going to take advantage of that potential, if we're going to sustain the peace and build on it, then we need to ask that question. What about the day after peace? It begins with leaders like you. Men and women who possess the ability to see a brilliant future. Leaders with courage and determination to make that future a reality. Imagine for a moment a region powered by 22 strong growing economies and energized by a thriving private sector, a highly skilled workforce, and region-wide cooperation. a region that welcomes every young person to adulthood with a good job, a lifetime of new opportunities, and a region with ample clean water in every home and a healthy environment that protects its people and its natural heritage. A region that competes at the top of the global marketplace, bringing the benefits of prosperity back to every neighborhood and family. And a region that takes its rightful, proud position in the 21st century, shaping the civilization and progress of all humanity. We, all of us here, have the power to make this vision a reality. Let us not put the future on hold, waiting for papers to be signed and the ink to dry, or hoping other countries will help. We as an entire region must create the future we choose to have. And that future starts here, with this extraordinary gathering of leaders from across our region. It is you who can bring our future the initiative and inspiration it needs at every level. And it is you who can think large, keep the focus on results, and dare to achieve them. It is you who can transform hopes into realities. So today, I urge you to start the dialogue, a dialogue of action that can inspire and lead our region forward. And I urge you to ask yourselves about the day after peace. And I urge you to help find the answers our people so urgently need. Thank you very much.
His Majesty King Abdullah, we are very grateful for providing us with a framework for our discussions over the next days. And I can only add, I hope you all will follow the directives which have been given to you. Thank you again, Your Majesty, for opening this event, and we promise here to you that we will use our resources, our capabilities, our courage, our will, our vision to make really sure that we are not only prepared to help you and to help everybody in creating the day after peace, but that we are also prepared to take on our responsibilities when this day, let's hope as soon as possible, have come. Thank you again for joining us and opening this summit. Thank you.